Blood runs warm down his shoulder, soaking through the flannel shirt he wore to look harmless. The room smells like gun oil and expensive cologne. 3 bodyguards in tailored suits stand between him and the door, hands hovering near concealed weapons. None of them have drawn yet. They think the old man with the limp is not a threat. He shifts his weight, feeling the familiar ache in his lower back, where shrapnel sits too close to his spine to remove. The M1911 in his right hand feels lighter than it did 43 years ago. Or maybe his hands have just forgotten how heavy killing is supposed to feel. The lead bodyguard takes a half step forward. Bad move. Shows inexperience. Shows he has never faced someone who spent 73 hours in hell and walked out with 47 lives on his conscience. The old man's voice cuts through the tension, cold and calm as winter wind across Wyoming plains. 47 of them lived because of me. You think 3 of you can stop me? The sound that follows is not the crack of gunfire. It is something else, something that will make sense later, when the pieces fall into place and the debt gets paid in full. But that comes later. First, there is the drive. The Interstate 80 corridor cuts through darkness like a scar across America's face. Semi-trucks haul their loads east and west, their taillights bleeding red into the 3 a.m. nothingness. The VA hospital sits 12 miles outside Cheyenne, far enough from civilization that the broken men inside can scream without disturbing anyone who matters. Nathan Mercer pushes the industrial mop across linoleum floors that have not been truly clean since the Reagan administration. The hallways echo with nothing. Most night, janitors wear headphones, listen to podcasts or music to make the hours pass. Nathan works in silence, always has. The quiet lets him hear things, lets him know when someone is coming before they round the corner. Old habits from a life he buried in 1983. His hands move with mechanical precision, the way they did when he worked on broken bodies under fire. Steady, methodical, no wasted motion. The doctors who work the day shift never see him. The nurses who pull graveyard rotations know him only as the ghost who empties their trash and leaves the floors wet. He has worked here for 16 years. Not one of them knows his last name. The break room television flickers with late-night news, volume low. Nathan does not watch television, does not need to. The world keeps turning whether he pays attention or not. But tonight, something in the anchor's cadence makes him pause mid-stroke. The mop head drips diluted bleach onto tile. Senator Marcus Aldridge has been confirmed by the Armed Services Committee as the nominee for Secretary of Defense. The vote was overwhelming, with bipartisan support for the decorated veteran's son. Aldridge, whose father, Colonel Theodore Aldridge, was killed in the 1983 Beirut barracks bombing, has made military readiness and veteran affairs central to his platform. The screen shows a man in his early 50s, silver at the temples, speaking at a podium with the confidence of someone who has never been told no. Behind him, a photograph of a younger man in marine dress blues. The caption reads, Colonel Theodore Aldridge, 1945 to 1983. Hero of Beirut. Nathan's hands tighten on the mop handle. The wood creaks. Somewhere in the back of his skull, a voice he has not heard in 43 years whispers through static and distance. Falcon 6, 0547 Zulu. Package delivered, grid 334521. Then silence. Then the world ending in fire and thunder and screaming. The mop clatters to the floor. Nathan does not pick it up. He walks down the corridor toward the service exit, moving faster than a man his age should move. The limp he usually affects disappears. His breathing stays controlled. His heart rate does not spike. These are responses he trained into muscle memory a lifetime ago. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. The apartment is a studio on the wrong side of town, the kind of place where neighbors do not ask questions and landlords take cash. Nathan has lived here for 11 years. The furniture came with the unit. He added nothing. No pictures on the walls, no books on the shelves, no evidence that anyone actually lives here instead of just existing between shifts. He kneels beside the bed and reaches underneath, fingers finding the duffel bag by touch. Olive drab canvas, military issue, manufactured sometime in 1982. The fabric smells like mothballs and old sweat, and a history he has tried to outrun for longer than some of his neighbors have been alive. The zipper resists, then gives. Inside, a combat medic kit, the contents expired, but still organized with obsessive care. Dog tags on a ball chain, the stamped letters worn smooth. A K-bar knife in a cracked leather sheath. And beneath it all, wrapped in a plastic evidence bag that was never filed into evidence, a small spiral notebook with a water-stained cover. Nathan opens the notebook. His handwriting from 1983 looks like it belongs to a different person. Neat block letters, the kind they teach you in boot camp. The first page reads, Falcon 6, 0547 Zulu, package delivered, grid 334521. Then silence. He has not looked at these words in 43 years. Has not needed to. They are burned into his memory like a brand, the way all the worst things are. His phone rings. Nathan does not own a cell phone. Has not owned one in 16 years. The sound is coming from the duffel bag. He moves the medic kit aside and finds a burner phone, the kind you buy at gas stations with cash. It is powered on. The screen shows an incoming call from a blocked number. He did not put this phone in the bag, which means someone else did. Which means someone has been in his apartment. Which means they know where he lives. He answers without speaking. The voice on the other end has been processed through a modulator, stripped of identifying characteristics. What remains is something that sounds almost human, but not quite. Like a machine trying to remember how people talk. Raven. No one has called him that in 43 years. Only 6 people knew that call sign. 5 of them died in Beirut. The 6th is holding the phone. The mechanical voice continues without waiting for confirmation. We know you were there. We know what you heard. Cole Ritter's grandson. Wyatt, 19 years old. You have 48 hours to deliver the notebook. Alone. Or the boy dies like your brothers did. The line goes dead. Nathan sets the phone down carefully, the way you set down something that might explode. His hands do not shake. His breathing does not change. The training holds, even now. Even when the past reaches through 4 decades and wraps its fingers around his throat. Cole Ritter, gunnery sergeant, 26 years old in 1983. Took shrapnel through both legs and a collapsed lung. Nathan pulled him out of the rubble during hour 41 when the rescue teams had given up and moved on to body recovery. Cole screamed the entire time Nathan dragged him across broken concrete. Screamed and begged Nathan to leave him to save someone who had a chance. Nathan did not leave him. Cole survived. Married his high school sweetheart. Had 2 daughters. One of them had a son named Wyatt. The boy dies like your brothers did. Nathan picks up the phone again, this time using the ancient landline that came with the apartment. He dials from memory. The number rings 6 times before someone picks up. The voice on the other end is rough with sleep and age and too many years of cigarettes. Who is this? Nathan lets the silence stretch. Lets the other man wake up enough to realize that 3 a.m. phone calls mean something has gone wrong. Gunny, it's Raven. I need a sit rep on Wyatt Ritter. The silence that follows lasts 10 seconds. In that silence, Nathan hears a sharp intake of breath. Hears a man who thought he would never hear that voice again, trying to process impossible information. Jesus Christ, Raven, after 43 years? Where the hell have you been? Sit rep, Gunny, now. The command voice cuts through the shock. Old habits die hard. Jack Hendricks was a gunnery sergeant for 22 years. He knows that tone, knows what it means when someone uses it. Wyatt's been missing for 72 hours. Local cops say he's a runaway. College kid, some debts, girlfriend trouble. They are not looking hard. Cole is tearing up half of Colorado trying to find him, but he has got nothing. Nathan processes this. 72 hours, the same amount of time Nathan spent in the rubble. Not a coincidence. Nothing is ever a coincidence. Anyone else from Beirut contacted recently? Jack pauses. When he speaks again, his voice has changed. Become careful. Funny you ask. 3 of us got weird calls last month. Blocked numbers. Voice all distorted. Asked about the doc who saved us. We thought it was VA research, some study on PTSD or survivor psychology. Now you are calling in the middle of the night asking about Wyatt, and I am thinking maybe it was not research at all. Nathan closes his eyes, sees the pattern taking shape. Someone is mapping the network, finding out who survived, finding out who might remember. Gunny, I need you to not talk to anyone about this call. Pretend I'm dead. Jack's voice hardens. You have been pretending for 43 years. What is different now? Now they took one of ours. The line goes quiet again. Then Jack speaks, and there is steel underneath the words. What do you need? Nothing. Just keep your head down. If anyone asks about me, you never heard from me. Nathan hangs up before Jack can argue. Before the questions start, before the past pulls them both under, he moves to the window and watches the street below. A blue sedan sits at the corner, engine off, lights dark. It was not there when he came home. The plate's a government issue. He can tell from the spacing, the way the registration sticker sits flush against the frame. This is surveillance, professional, federal. They are watching him, have been watching him, maybe for days, maybe for weeks. Nathan does not panic. Panic gets you killed. He learned that in a hole in the ground in Lebanon while the world burned above him. Instead, he plans. The VA hospital keeps files on every veteran who walks through its doors. Paper files, because the VA is chronically underfunded and half the computer systems do not talk to each other. Nathan has access to the records room, has had access for 16 years. No one questions the janitor who mops the floors at night. It takes him 40 minutes to drive back to the hospital. The blue sedan follows at a distance, professional enough to stay back but close enough to keep visual contact. They want him to know he is being watched, want him nervous, want him to make mistakes. Nathan does not make mistakes. The records room is in the basement, behind a door marked Authorized Personnel Only. Nathan's key opens it. Inside, rows of filing cabinets stretch into shadow, decades of broken men reduced to manila folders and typewritten notes. He finds what he is looking for in the third cabinet. Beirut survivors, cross-referenced with current medical files. 47 names. His hands had touched each of these men, had stitched them, had kept them breathing when their bodies wanted to quit. 7 of them are marked deceased. Nathan photographs each file with the disposable camera he bought at a drugstore on the way over. No digital trail, no metadata, just old-school tradecraft, the kind they taught him before the world went digital. The pattern is obvious once you know to look for it. All 7 deaths occurred in the last 5 years. All ruled natural causes or accidents: heart attack, car crash, fall from ladder, overdose, nothing suspicious enough to warrant investigation. But together they form a map of witnesses being erased. All 7 died after Theodore Aldridge's death in 2022. All 7 died before Marcus Aldridge announced his run for Secretary of Defense in 2024. Someone is cleaning house. Nathan returns the files to their places, locks the door behind him, walks back to his car like nothing has changed. The blue sedan is gone. In its place, a black SUV with tinted windows. They are not even trying to hide anymore. Nathan drives, not home, not to safety. He drives south, toward Washington, D.C., toward the marble and monuments and the carefully maintained lies that hold the Republic together. The Beirut Memorial sits in a quiet corner of Arlington, away from the main tourist routes. Most people do not know it exists. A wall of names, 241 of them, carved into black granite. Nathan has never visited, never wanted to. Did not think he had earned the right to mourn when he was the one who survived. He parks 3 blocks away and walks the rest of the distance. Dawn is breaking over the Potomac, painting the monuments in shades of gold and blood. The memorial is empty except for a single figure standing at the wall. She is in her early 40s, professional attire, dark hair pulled back in a bun. She does not turn when Nathan approaches, just keeps reading the names, fingers tracing letters carved deep enough to last forever. You served in Beirut? Nathan does not answer. Does not need to. She already knows who he is, already knows why he is here. She turns to face him. Her eyes are red, but her voice is steady. My father did. He did not make it. Nathan looks at the wall, finds the name without trying. Staff Sergeant David Chen, South Wing, Section 12, buried under 3 tons of concrete and rebar. What was his name? Staff Sergeant David Chen. Nathan closes his eyes, sees it again, the way the concrete pinned Chen's legs, the way the man kept apologizing, kept saying he was sorry for being too heavy to move, the way Nathan tried for 20 minutes to shift the rubble, to find an angle, to do something, anything. The way Chen stopped screaming right around minute 18. I tried. The woman's expression does not change. I know. You are the one they called Raven. She pulls out her phone, shows him a photograph. It is a newspaper clipping from 1983. Yellowed with age, the image grainy and unclear. A man covered in blood and dust, carrying another man across rubble. The caption reads, "Mystery medic saves dozens in Beirut aftermath." Nathan's face is barely visible beneath the grime, but it is him. Younger, unbroken, still believing that saving people mattered. "I do not know what you are talking about." The woman puts the phone away. "My name is Lisa Chen. I am with the FBI Counterintelligence Division, and I have been looking for you for 2 years. Nathan scans the memorial grounds without moving his head. Counts exits. Identifies cover positions. Sees the second agent 50 meters away, trying to blend in near the tree line. Left-handed, Sig Sauer P226. The bulge in his jacket is slightly off-center. Amateur hour. Your partner is left-handed. Sig Sauer P226. Tailored suit hides an ankle holster. You carry a Glock 19 appendix position. You have been following me since I left Wyoming, which means you have my plates, my work records, probably my entire life in a file somewhere. Question is, why show yourself now? Lisa Chen smiles. It is not a happy expression. Because 7 dead Marines, 1 missing teenager, and a Secretary of Defense nominee with a dirty father is above my pay grade. I need your help. I am a janitor. You are Nathan Mercer, Hospital Corpsman 2nd Class, Force Recon Attachment, 3 Navy Crosses, 2 Purple Hearts, survivor of Beirut. You are the only man alive who knows what really happened in those barracks. And someone is killing everyone else who might remember. Nathan says nothing, watches her, waits. Chen pulls out a tablet, swipes through files. Theodore Aldridge received $5 million from an Iranian-backed Hezbollah cell. 3 days before the bombing, the payment trail was discovered 2 years ago during an unrelated money laundering investigation. But here is the problem. Theodore is dead. All evidence points to him acting alone. Case closed. Except 7 survivors die right when his son runs for Secretary of Defense. And except for this, she shows him an encrypted message intercepted 6 months ago. The text reads, Phase 2 active, clean all witnesses, timeline before confirmation hearing. Nathan reads it twice. The words do not change. Phase 2 implies Phase 1. What was Phase 1? Chen shakes her head. We do not know. The Beirut bombing might not have been the main operation. It might have been cover for something else. Nathan thinks about the radio intercept. Package delivered. Theodore Aldridge's voice, calm and professional, 15 minutes before a truck bomb killed 241 United States Marines. What kind of package requires that much cover? That is what I was hoping you could tell me. Nathan looks back at the memorial wall, sees the names, sees the men he saved and the men he could not. Sees David Chen's name and remembers the exact pitch of his screams. I need a vehicle, communications equipment, and 72 hours. Chen hesitates. I can get you resources, surveillance, intelligence, backup teams. Nathan cuts her off. I do not need backup. I need mobility and intel. After 72 hours, either the boy is safe and Aldridge is in custody, or I am dead. Either way, your case is solved. Agent Chen. I spent 73 hours pulling men out of hell while the building collapsed around me. I know how to operate alone, and I know how to make people talk. Chen studies his face. Whatever she sees there makes her decide. You wear a wire, and you check in every 12 hours. Nathan nods. Does not agree to anything else. Does not promise he will not kill anyone. Some promises are not worth making. The safe house is a townhouse in Alexandria, nondescript and anonymous. Chen sets up a laptop on the kitchen table, pulls up files that should not exist outside of classified servers. Theodore Aldridge was not in Beirut for peacekeeping. He was part of a CIA task force called Scorpion. Illegal arms interdiction. They were tracking weapons shipments from Syria to Lebanon, trying to cut off supply lines to Hezbollah and Islamic Jihad. Nathan leans against the counter, arms crossed. Marines do not run CIA operations. They do when the operations need plausible deniability. Your unit was not supposed to be at the barracks that morning. You were redirected due to mechanical issues with your transport. The official record says engine trouble, but there was no maintenance log, no repair order. Someone called you back to that barracks. Nathan remembers. The radio call at 0500, return to base for vehicle inspection, the long drive back through streets that smelled like garbage and diesel. The way the barracks looked peaceful in the early morning light. Just another building full of sleeping men. Package delivered. Theodore said that 15 minutes before the explosion. Package delivered. Not a warning about the attack. Something else. Chen nods. We think he was extracting something. Documents, intelligence, maybe a physical asset. Whatever it was, 241 Marines died to hide it. And whatever it is, Marcus Aldridge is protecting it now. Nathan processes this. Thinks about the mechanical voice on the phone. About Wyatt Ritter, 19 years old, taken because his grandfather remembered something he should not. How do I find the boy? We do not have jurisdiction. He is a missing adult. No evidence of foul play. The locals will not move on it. Then this conversation is over. Nathan moves toward the door. Chen steps in front of him. Wait, I can help you. But I need something in return. Nathan waits. There is a man, Thomas Briggs, Sergeant, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines. He was in the barracks. You pulled him out with a broken back. He lives in Virginia now, runs a gun shop in Richmond. He got one of those strange calls last month. Asked if he remembered what Theodore Aldridge carried out of the barracks before it exploded. Nathan goes very still. Theodore was inside the barracks before the bombing. Chen nods. Briggs did not remember. He was unconscious, but someone thinks he might, and now he is being watched. Government plates outside his house. Phone tapped. Someone wants to know what he knows. Give me his address. The gun shop sits on a tired street in Richmond, wedged between a pawn shop and a check cashing place. The sign reads Briggs Firearms in faded letters. Nathan parks across the street and watches for 20 minutes. Counts customers, identifies security cameras. Sees the blue sedan parked 2 blocks down with a clear sightline to the shop entrance. He crosses the street and walks in like he belongs there. Thomas Briggs stands behind the counter, older and heavier than Nathan remembers, but the eyes are the same. Sharp, watchful, the eyes of a man who has seen bad things and expects to see more. Briggs looks up from the pistol he is cleaning. His face goes pale. Jesus Christ. Raven, I thought you were dead. Everyone does. The call you got last month. What exactly did they ask? Briggs sets down the cleaning cloth slowly, like he is afraid sudden movements might shatter something. How do you know about that call? Answer the question, Tommy. The old rank structure kicks in. Briggs straightens unconsciously. They asked if I remembered the package Theodore Aldridge carried out of the barracks before it blew. I said no, because I did not remember. Hell, I was unconscious with a broken back. You are the one who dragged me out. Nathan leans against the counter. Did you tell anyone else about the call? Just my wife. And look, Raven, I do not want trouble. I got a business here. Got grandkids. Nathan understands. Briggs survived Beirut just to spend 43 years looking over his shoulder, waiting for the past to come collect. Check your security footage. Blue sedan, government plates, 2 blocks south. They have been watching you for 3 days. Briggs moves to the back office, pulls up camera feeds on a laptop. His hands shake slightly as he scrolls through footage. The sedan appears on day 3 after the phone call, stays for 72 hours, then disappears. Son of a bitch. Nathan watches the footage. Professional surveillance. Federal resources. Someone with enough pull to assign agents to babysit a retired Marine who runs a gun shop in Richmond. The mechanical voice said the boy dies like your brothers did. How many of us are dead, Tommy? Briggs pulls up a different file. A list of names, 47 of them. 7 are highlighted in red. I keep track. Old habit. 7 dead in 5 years. All after Theodore kicked it. All before his son started his run for Secretary of Defense. Heart attacks, car crashes, accidents, nothing that makes the news. Nathan stares at the names, knows each face, remembers pulling each one out of fire and darkness. They are cleaning house. Briggs nods. Whoever Theodore was working for, whoever paid him, they are making sure no witnesses are left. And now they got Cole's grandson. They are using the kid as leverage. Nathan straightens. I am going to get him back, and then I am going to burn whoever is behind this to the ground. Briggs reaches under the counter, pulls out a Colt 1911, holds it out. You are going to need more than good intentions. This one is clean. No paper trail. Nathan takes the pistol, checks the action, feels the weight. It is almost identical to the one he carried in Beirut, the one he turned in when he walked away from everything in 1983. Semper Fi, Doc. Semper Fi, Tommy. The drive back to DC takes 4 hours. Nathan uses the time to think, to plan, to remember the way Theodore Aldridge's voice sounded over the radio that morning. Calm, professional, no stress, no fear. Package delivered. Whatever Theodore carried out of those barracks was worth 241 lives, was worth 43 years of cover-up, was worth killing 7 old Marines who might remember something. Nathan needs leverage, needs something Marcus Aldridge wants badly enough to trade. The notebook. He pulls off the highway, finds a payphone at a rest stop, dials the number from the burner phone they planted in his apartment. It rings twice before the mechanical voice answers. I will trade. The notebook for Wyatt. But not to you. To Aldridge himself. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Arlington National Cemetery, Section 60. Just him and me. He brings proof of life. I bring the notebook. The mechanical voice laughs, distorted and hollow. You are in no position to negotiate, old man. Neither is he, because I made 43 copies of this notebook. If I do not check in every 24 hours, they all get mailed to every news outlet in Washington. Your move. The line goes silent. Nathan counts seconds, gets to 47 before the voice comes back. Section 60, 8 p.m., he will be there. Nathan hangs up. The copies do not exist. The notebook is one of a kind, water-damaged and 43 years old, but they do not know that. And the threat is enough. Chen meets him at the safe house with equipment. Tactical vest, communications earpiece, micro camera. She wants to wire him for sound and video, wants agents positioned around the cemetery, wants backup plans and contingencies. Nathan refuses everything except the earpiece. They will spot your people. The boy dies. Chen argues. Nathan ignores her. He has done this before, has operated behind enemy lines with no support and no extraction plan, has survived by thinking 3 steps ahead and trusting no one. He spends the afternoon preparing, studies satellite images of Arlington, identifies sniper positions, approach routes, escape paths. The old training comes back like riding a bicycle, like it never left. At 7 p.m., he loads the M1911 Tommy gave him. 8 rounds, not enough for a prolonged firefight, enough for what is coming. At 7:30, he drives to Arlington, parks 3 blocks away, walks the rest. Section 60 is the newest part of the cemetery, where they bury the men and women from Iraq and Afghanistan. The headstones are white and identical and too numerous. Nathan moves through them like a ghost, checking angles, memorizing terrain. At 7:55, he finds his position, a slight rise with clear sightlines and good cover, settles in to wait. At exactly 8 p.m., headlights cut through the darkness. A black SUV, luxury model, tinted windows. It stops 50 meters from Nathan's position. The engine shuts off. 2 bodyguards exit first. Scan the area. Professional. Alert. Then Marcus Aldridge steps out, silver hair perfect even in the dark, wearing a suit that costs more than Nathan makes in 6 months. Marcus holds up a phone, plays a video. Wyatt Ritter, alive, tied to a chair, looking terrified but unharmed. Mercer, I know you are here. Let us talk like civilized men. Nathan does not move, counts heat signatures through the scope Chen gave him. 2 bodyguards visible, 4 more in the SUV, 2 in the tree line 100 meters away. 8 against 1. Acceptable odd sods. Marcus calls out again. I am unarmed. Come out. Nathan steps from cover, but not where Marcus expects. 50 meters to the left, using headstones for concealment. Your father was a coward who sold 241 Marines for cash. What does that make you? Marcus's composure slips for just a moment. Then the politician's smile returns. My father was a patriot. What happened in Beirut was tragic but necessary. Necessary for what? You would not understand. You are just a medic. Nathan moves closer. 30 meters now, close enough to see the confidence in Marcus's eyes. The certainty that he is in control. I am the medic who knows your father radioed package delivered 15 minutes before the truck bomb. I am the medic who knows he walked out of that barracks carrying a metal case. I am the medic who is going to burn your career to the ground. Marcus's face changes. Real anger now, cutting through the polish. You have nothing. No proof, no witnesses, just the ravings of a PTSD-addled janitor who should have died 43 years ago. Nathan reaches into his jacket. The bodyguards tense. Nathan pulls out the notebook slowly, holds it up. Section 60, Row 22, Grave 1847. Staff Sergeant David Chen. Go read the headstone. One of the bodyguards whispers something to Marcus. Nathan cannot hear the words, but he sees Marcus's face pale. Whatever is written on that headstone, Marcus knows about it, fears it. Then the world explodes into violence. Gunfire from a third position, high-velocity rifle, professional accuracy. The first bodyguard drops with a hole through his skull. The second tries to draw and takes 2 rounds center mass. Marcus dives for the SUV. Nathan rolls behind a headstone as bullets crack overhead. More shots, methodical and precise, taking out the men in the tree line. Through the scope, Nathan sees the shooter. Female, late 30s, tactical gear, moving with the fluid economy of a professional. Not FBI, not Aldridge's people, a third player. She lines up a shot on Marcus as he scrambles toward the SUV. Nathan recognizes the angle, recognizes the kill shot. He cannot let Marcus die. Not yet. Not before Nathan gets answers. Nathan fires twice, not at the woman, but near her position. Forces her to relocate. Gives Marcus time to reach the SUV. The vehicle's engine roars to life. Tires scream against pavement. The SUV fishtails away into darkness. The shooting stops. Nathan moves toward where the woman was positioned. She is gone. Professional. No brass left behind. No evidence. But there is something else. A note pinned to a tree with a combat knife. The paper is expensive. The handwriting precise. Theodore took the package from Arlington. Ask why. Scorpion. Nathan tears the note free, reads it again. Arlington, the cemetery. Something Theodore took from this place. Scorpion. The name of the task force Theodore was part of. Someone inside the operation is trying to help, or trying to manipulate. Nathan does not know which. His shoulder burns where a bullet grazed him earlier. Blood soaks through his shirt. Not serious, he has had worse. The earpiece crackles to life. Chen's voice, urgent. Mercer, what happened? We heard shots. Third party, professional sniper. Took out Aldridge's bodyguards. Tried to kill Aldridge. I stopped her. Why? Because dead men do not talk, and I need answers. Nathan walks back to his car, moving through shadows, avoiding the sirens already approaching. Arlington Metro Police. Too slow. Too late. He gets in the vehicle and drives. Not back to the safe house, not to safety. He drives to Section 60, Row 22, Grave 1847. The headstone is white marble, identical to 10,000 others. The name reads, Staff Sergeant David Chen, born 1957, died 1983, beloved son and brother. Nathan kneels beside it. Looks for anything unusual, anything that would make Marcus Aldridge afraid. The back of the headstone has been defaced. Recent. Within the last few months, someone carved 3 words into the marble with a knife or chisel. Phase 2. Active. Nathan stares at the words, feels the ground shift beneath him. This is not about covering up Beirut. This is about something that is still happening. Something that requires the Secretary of Defense position. Something that started 43 years ago and never stopped. His phone buzzes. Text message from an unknown number. Wyatt is alive, for now. You want him back. Find out what Theodore took. You have 48 hours. Then I kill the boy and everyone you ever saved. Scorpion. Nathan reads the message twice. The pieces are starting to fit together, starting to make a terrible kind of sense. Theodore took something from Arlington Cemetery. Something worth killing for. Something that requires cleaning all the witnesses. Phase 2 is active, which means Phase 1 succeeded. And Nathan just walked into the middle of a conspiracy that has been running for 43 years, funded with the blood of 241 Marines. He looks up at the stars over Arlington, thinks about the men buried here, thinks about the men he saved and the debt he has carried for longer than some of them lived. 47 of them lived because of me. Nathan stands, walks back to the car. His shoulder throbs, his back aches. He is 67 years old and has not been in the field in 4 decades. But the boy is alive, the debt is not paid, and Nathan Mercer has never left a Marine behind. Not in 73 hours of hell in Beirut. Not now. The war that started in 1983 is not over. It is just beginning. The safe house smells like stale coffee and old secrets. Lisa Chen stands at the kitchen counter, analyzing surveillance photos spread across the laminate surface like tarot cards predicting a violent future. Nathan sits at the table, field stripping the M1911 Tommy gave him, each piece laid out in precise order. Muscle memory from a lifetime ago. Chen looks up from the photos, studies Nathan's hands as they work. Steady. No tremor. The hands of a man who has done this 10,000 times in the dark. You should be in a hospital. That shoulder needs stitches. Nathan slides the barrel assembly back into the frame. The click of metal on metal is satisfying. Final. Had worse in Beirut. Kept working for 73 hours. I can make it 48 more. Chen sets down a photo. It shows the defaced headstone. Phase 2. Active, carved into marble, meant to last forever. We ran the handwriting analysis. Whoever carved this used a tactical knife, military grade. Pressure patterns suggest someone with combat training. The message was left within the last 6 weeks. Nathan loads the magazine, 8 rounds, same as before. He has not fired a shot yet, but the weight feels right. Feels necessary. Scorpion left it. Wants me to know phase 2 is happening now. Wants me to stop it. Or wants you to walk into a trap. Nathan looks at her, sees the calculation behind her eyes. She is FBI, trained to think in terms of evidence and warrants and rules of engagement. Nathan stopped thinking that way in 1983, when the rulebook burned along with 241 of his brothers. I have been walking into traps my whole life, Agent Chen, still here. He stands, holsters the pistol. His shoulder protests. He ignores it. I need to find out what Theodore took from Arlington. That is the key. That is what they are protecting. Chen pulls up a file on her laptop. Satellite imagery of Arlington National Cemetery, date stamped 1983. I ran a search through burial records from October 1983, right after Beirut. Found something interesting. 3 burials happened within 48 hours of the bombing, all classified as military casualties from Lebanon. But the bodies were never positively identified, no dental records, no DNA analysis, because that technology did not exist yet. Just sealed caskets and flag ceremonies. Nathan leans over her shoulder, studies the image. 3 graves, close together. Section 18, not far from where the tomb of the unknown soldier keeps its eternal watch. You think Theodore buried something instead of someone? Chen nods. Or buried something with someone. A metal case, documents, intelligence, whatever he extracted from those barracks before they blew. Nathan thinks about the radio intercept. Package delivered. Theodore's voice, calm as Sunday morning, while men slept in racks above a parking garage full of explosives. Why wait 43 years? If he buried it in 1983, why not retrieve it immediately? Because whoever paid him $5 million wanted it to stay buried. Wanted time and distance and dead witnesses before anyone started asking questions. But now, Marcus needs whatever is in that grave. Needs it badly enough to kill for it. Nathan moves to the window, watches the street. No blue sedan tonight. No black SUV. They know where he is, know what he is planning. Are letting him run because they think they can control the outcome. They are wrong. His phone vibrates. Text message from the burner number. No words, just GPS coordinates and a timestamp. 400 hours, 4 a.m. 3 hours from now. The coordinates are for a location in West Virginia. Rural. Isolated. Perfect place to kill someone and make the body disappear. Perfect place to get Wyatt back. Chen sees the message over his shoulder. It is a trap. Of course it is, but Wyatt is there, and I am out of time. I am coming with you. No, you are FBI, you have rules, I do not. If this goes wrong, I need you clean, need you able to finish what I start. Chen wants to argue. Nathan sees it in the set of her jaw, the way her hand moves toward her service weapon. But she is also smart enough to know he is right. If Nathan dies tonight, someone needs to carry the investigation forward. Someone with a badge and authority and the power to make people listen. 48 hours, Nathan. If you are not back by then, I am bringing the entire bureau down on Marcus Aldridge. He nods. Knows she means it. Also knows 48 hours might be 47 hours too late. Nathan drives west into darkness. The highways are empty at this hour, just him and the long-haul truckers grinding their way toward dawn. The GPS leads him off the interstate, onto state routes that get progressively narrower and darker, cutting through forests that have not changed since Daniel Boone walked through them. The coordinates point to an abandoned coal mine, the kind that employed half a county 50 years ago and now sits empty, slowly collapsing into the earth it once violated. The access road is overgrown, branches scraping against the car's paint. Nathan parks a mile out, walks the rest on foot, moving through trees like the ghost they trained him to be. His night vision is not what it used to be, but the moon is 3/4 full and his eyes adjust. He counts his steps, memorizes landmarks, plans escape routes. The mine entrance is a black mouth in the hillside, timber supports sagging with age and rot. A single vehicle sits 50 meters away. Panel van, nondescript white, no plates visible. Nathan circles wide, approaches from the north, uses his scope to scan for heat signatures, finds 3, 2 adults and 1 smaller. The boy. He moves closer, silent, patient, the way they taught him in Force Recon back when the world was simpler and enemies wore uniforms. Wyatt Ritter sits on the ground, hands zip-tied behind his back, duct tape over his mouth. 19 years old, but looking younger in the moonlight, eyes wide with fear that he is trying very hard not to show. Good kid. Cole's blood, Marines raised them tough. 2 guards, one smoking a cigarette near the van, the other pacing nervous energy, hand on a holstered pistol. Not professionals, hired muscle, the kind of men who take cash jobs and do not ask questions. Nathan could kill them both, should kill them both, but the text said to come alone, said bring the notebook. Whoever is running this operation wants a trade, not a firefight. Not yet. Nathan stands up, steps into the open. Both guards spin toward him, hands going for weapons. Easy. I am here for the trade. The smoking guard flicks his cigarette away, draws a Glock. His hands shake slightly. Amateur. Where is the notebook? Nathan pulls it from his jacket slowly, holds it up. Water-stained cover. 43 years of secrets in faded ballpoint ink. Where is Scorpion? The guards exchange glances. Confused. Do not know the name, which means they are bottom tier. Disposable. Someone gave them instructions and cash and a location. Nothing more. The nervous one speaks up. We were told to take the book and leave the kid. That is all we know, man. This is just a job. Nathan tosses the notebook. It lands in the dirt between them. The smoking guard picks it up, flips through pages without understanding what he is reading. Cut the kid loose. The nervous one moves toward Wyatt, knife in hand. Nathan watches his eyes, his body language, looking for the tell, looking for the moment when the orders change from trade to kill. It comes when the zip tie breaks. The smoking guard raises his Glock. Not at Nathan, at Wyatt. Sorry, old man, nothing personal. Nathan moves, not toward the guard with the gun, toward Wyatt, covers the distance in 3 strides, grabs the boy, pulls him down as the shot cracks overhead. Nathan's return fire is instinct. 2 rounds, center mass. The smoking guard drops, surprise frozen on his face. The nervous one runs for the van. Nathan lets him go, tracks him with the sights but does not fire. Lets him drive away into the night, carrying the notebook and a story he will never fully understand. Nathan helps Wyatt to his feet, pulls the tape off gently. You okay, son? Wyatt nods, breathing hard, tries to speak but no words come out. Your grandfather is Cole Ritter, gunnery sergeant. I pulled him out of Beirut in 1983. He was about your age, brave then. You are brave now. The words steady the boy. Give him something to hold on to. Who are you? Someone who does not leave Marines behind. They walk back through the forest. Nathan keeps Wyatt behind him, stays alert for ambush, for backup, for complications. But the forest remains quiet. Just wind and branches and 2 men walking away from death one more time. At the car, Wyatt finally finds his voice. Why did they take me? I do not know anything. I am just a college student. Your grandfather knows something. Or they think he does. They used you to control him, to control me. Nathan starts the engine, heads east, knows he cannot take Wyatt back to his family yet. Not until this is finished. Not while Marcus Aldridge has the resources to try again. They think you gave them the real notebook. Wyatt looks at him. You did not? Nathan almost smiles. First time in 43 years. I gave them a prop. Blank pages water damaged to look old. Real notebook is still in my pocket. He pats his jacket, feels the weight of it. The weight of 241 names and 1 radio intercept. And the truth that someone wants buried bad enough to kill a kid for. Where are we going? To see your grandfather, then to finish what started 43 years ago. The drive to Cole Ritter's house takes 6 hours. Dawn breaks somewhere over the Shenandoah Valley, painting the mountains in shades of amber and gold. Nathan has not slept in 36 hours. His shoulder throbs, his back aches. He is 67 years old and running on coffee and spite, and a debt that will not let him rest. Cole's place is a cabin in the Blue Ridge Mountains, off-grid and private, the kind of home a man builds when he has seen enough of the world and wants to be left alone. Nathan pulls into the gravel driveway. The front door opens before he cuts the engine. Cole Ritter stands on the porch, older and grayer than Nathan remembers, but still carrying himself like a Marine. The limp from his Beirut injuries is barely visible. 43 years of physical therapy and stubbornness. When Cole sees Wyatt step out of the car, his face crumbles. Just for a moment. Just long enough for Nathan to see the old warrior break and then rebuild himself. Wyatt runs to his grandfather. They embrace without words. Some moments do not need them. Cole looks at Nathan over Wyatt's shoulder, eyes red but voice steady. "Doctor, it has been a long time. Not Doc, never was, just a Corpsman who got lucky. You got 47 of us out. That is not luck. That is skill." Nathan walks up the porch steps, offers his hand. Cole takes it. The grip is still strong. "We need to talk, all of us, about what happened in Beirut, about what is happening now." Inside, the cabin smells like wood smoke and gun oil. Cole pours coffee, black and strong. They sit at a table scarred with years of use. Nathan lays out everything. The phone call, the dead survivors, the defaced headstone. Phase 2. Marcus Aldridge. The grave at Arlington, where Theodore supposedly buried something worth killing for. Cole listens without interrupting. When Nathan finishes, the old gunnery sergeant sits back, processing. "I remember seeing Theodore that morning, right before the explosion. He was carrying a metal case, handcuffed to his wrist. I thought it was communications equipment. Crypto gear, did not think anything of it. What time? 05:30, maybe 05:40. He was walking toward the vehicle depot, away from the barracks, 15 minutes before the explosion, time enough to get clear, time enough to save himself while 241 men died." Nathan pulls out the real notebook, opens to the first page, slides it across to Cole. "This is what I heard on the radio, Falcon 6. That was Theodore's call sign, package delivered." Then silence. Then the world ended. Cole reads the words, reads them again. His jaw tightens. "Son of a bitch walked away. Knew it was coming and walked away." Nathan nods. And now his son is about to become Secretary of Defense. About to have access to every classified program in the Department of Defense. Every black budget operation. Every covert asset. Whatever Phase 2 is, it needs that level of access to work. Wyatt speaks up, voice uncertain. "What is Phase 2? That is what we need to find out. And we have 48 hours to do it." Cole stands, moves to a gun safe in the corner, opens it. Inside, an arsenal. Rifles, pistols, ammunition, tactical gear. The collection of a man who sleeps easier knowing he can fight if the past comes calling. "You are not doing this alone, Doc. Not this time." Nathan wants to argue, wants to tell Cole to stay safe, stay out of it, protect his grandson. But he sees the look in Cole's eyes, recognizes it. The look of a man who has carried survivors' guilt for 43 years and finally has a chance to settle the account. "All right, Gunny, Semper Fi." Semper Fi. They spend the morning planning. Cole has contacts, other survivors, men who owe Nathan their lives and would walk through fire for him. By noon, they have a team, small, motivated, dangerous. Jack Hendricks arrives first. Still moves like a gunnery sergeant despite the replacement knee and the hearing aids. Still has the eyes of a man who has stared down worse than death. Then comes Tommy Briggs from Richmond, bringing weapons and ammunition and a grim smile. Last is a man Nathan has not seen in 40 years. Frank Torres, former sergeant who lost his left leg below the knee in Beirut and now walks with a prosthetic that cost more than Nathan's car. Torres grips Nathan's hand, pulls him into a brief embrace. "Heard you were dead." "Tried to be, did not take." They gather around Cole's table. Nathan spreads out maps, satellite photos, files Chen provided, shows them the pattern. 7 dead, 1 missing grave. Phase 2 active. Torres studies the Arlington imagery, taps a finger on Section 18. I know a guy, works cemetery maintenance, been there 30 years. If something was buried that should not have been buried, he would know. Call him. Torres makes the call, speaks in rapid Spanish, switches to English, listens, hangs up. He remembers 1983. 3 graves, rush job, classified burial detail. Marines providing security but no family members present. He thought it was weird. Black ops guys killed in action, too sensitive for public ceremony. But he saw them unload the caskets, said one of them was not right. Too light, sounded hollow when they set it down. Nathan feels the pieces clicking together. A hollow casket, documents, maybe physical evidence. Theodore buried it where no one would think to look. A grave in a national cemetery, protected by tradition and reverence and acres of identical white headstones. Can your guy get us access after hours? Torres grins. For the doc who saved my life. He would dig up Arlington with a spoon if you asked. Nathan looks at his watch. 1400 hours. 2 p.m., 38 hours left before Chen's deadline, before the window closes. Tonight? We go tonight. Find out what is in that grave. Use it to stop Marcus before he gets confirmed. Briggs clears his throat. You know this is grave desecration. Federal crime. We get caught, we are looking at prison time. Nathan meets his eyes. We already died in Beirut. Everything since has been borrowed time. I am ready to pay it back. The others nod. No more discussion needed. They are Marines. They follow the mission to hell if that is where it leads. While the team preps gear, Nathan steps outside, calls Chen on a secure line. I have Wyatt. He is safe. Chen exhales relief. Thank God. Where are you? Better you do not know. How is the investigation? Stalled. Marcus has too much political cover. I need hard evidence, something that connects him directly to the murders or the conspiracy. Without it, he skates. Nathan watches the sun track across the Virginia sky. Thinks about men buried in graves they do not deserve. Thinks about secrets hidden in the earth. I am going to get you that evidence, tonight. Be ready to move when I do. Nathan, what are you planning? Finishing what Theodore started. One way or another. He hangs up before she can argue. The team rolls out at 2200 hours. 2 vehicles, lights off, using night vision to navigate. Torres's contact meets them at a maintenance gate on the south side of Arlington. Old man, 70 plus, wearing cemetery coveralls and carrying a ring of keys that could open half of Washington. Section 18, 3rd row, graves 47, 48, and 49. You got 2 hours before security makes rounds. Torres hands him an envelope. Cash. The old man does not count it. Just nods and walks away, back to a life where he never saw them. They move through the cemetery like ghosts. 6 old men with bad knees and worse backs, carrying shovels and tactical lights and a determination that could move mountains. Grave 48. The headstone reads, Unknown Marine, died in service to his country, 1983. Nathan kneels beside it, places his hand on the marble. Thinks about the men who deserved this honor. The men whose bodies came home in bags and boxes and pieces. This grave is a lie. Let us uncover the truth. They dig, take turns working in shifts, moving dirt in silence. Cole's breathing is labored but steady. Jack's hands blister but do not stop. Tommy's back screams but he keeps lifting. Torres balances on his prosthetic and digs with the fury of a man reclaiming stolen honor. At 3 feet down, Briggs's shovel hits something solid. Metal. They clear the dirt carefully, reveal a military coffin, standard issue, sealed. But the weight is wrong. Torres was right. Too light, hollow. Nathan pries open the seal. The lid resists, then gives with a groan of tortured metal. Inside, not a body. A metal case, foam padding. And within the foam, files, documents, photographs, all wrapped in plastic, preserved against time and decay. Nathan pulls out the first file, reads by flashlight, feels his blood run cold. Operation Scorpion. CIA black budget. Arms interdiction in Lebanon. But that is the cover story. The real operation, selling weapons to both sides. To Hezbollah, to Christian militias, to anyone with cash. Using the chaos to fund off books intelligence operations across the Middle East. Theodore Aldridge was not just receiving bribes, he was the bagman. The facilitator, the man who made the deals and moved the money and buried the evidence when it got too hot. The Beirut bombing was not retaliation, it was house cleaning. Someone needed to erase a barracks full of witnesses who had seen too much. Seen the weapons transfers, seen the meetings, seen Theodore's face. 241 men died to protect an illegal arms network. Nathan pulls out another document. This one more recent, dated 2024. It is a proposal, a plan to restart Operation Scorpion under a new name. Phase 2. With the Secretary of Defense position, Marcus would have access to military supply chains, could move weapons anywhere in the world, could create the same chaos his father did, but on a scale 10 times larger. Billions of dollars, hundreds of operations, all hidden behind classified programs and black budgets and the machinery of national defense. Jack Hendricks reads over Nathan's shoulder, whistles low. This is treason. This is enough to hang him. If we can get it to someone who will listen. Nathan photographs every page, every document, every piece of evidence, uploads them to a secure cloud server Chen set up, creates redundancy, makes sure that if he dies tonight, the truth survives. They are so focused on the files that none of them hear the helicopter until it is almost overhead. Searchlight cuts through the darkness. Amplified voice booms across the cemetery. Federal agents, drop your weapons and get on the ground. But the voice is wrong. Nathan has heard federal agents before. This is not FBI cadence, not professional. There is eagerness in it. Anticipation. These are not agents. These are cleaners. Run. The team scatters. Nathan grabs the metal case, tucks it under his arm like a football, runs through headstones, using them for cover as gunfire erupts behind him. Not arrest fire. Kill fire. Bullets chip marble, kick up dirt. The helicopter banks, searchlight sweeping, hunting. Nathan runs toward the tree line 200 meters north. His lungs burn, his shoulder screams. 67 years old and running for his life through a cemetery while helicopter gunships hunt him like an animal. Behind him, return fire, his team covering his retreat, buying him time with their lives if necessary. Nathan makes the trees, turns back, sees the helicopter banking for another pass, sees muzzle flashes from multiple positions. Too many. His team is outnumbered. He should go back, should fight beside them. But the case in his hands is worth more than any of their lives. Is worth the lives of everyone who died in Beirut. Nathan runs. The safe house is compromised. Nathan knows this before he arrives. The lights are on. The door is ajar. Chen would never leave it that way. He approaches from his rear, pistol drawn, case slung across his back. Hears voices inside. Male. Professional, not Chen. He peers through a window, sees two men in suits, wearing earpieces, searching the place methodically. Federal agents, real ones this time, but working for whom? Nathan circles to the front. The lead agent steps out, phone to his ear. Yes, sir, Senator Aldridge. We have swept the location. She is not here. We will continue the search. Nathan's blood runs cold. FBI agents taking orders from Marcus. The conspiracy runs deeper than he thought. He backs away, returns to his car, drives to the only place he can think of. The only person who might still be clean. The address Chen gave him is a townhouse in Georgetown. Expensive neighborhood. Federal salary does not buy this. Family money maybe, or a spouse with a real job. Nathan knocks, waits. The door opens on a chain. Chen's face appears, bruised and bloodied. Jesus, what happened? She opens the door fully, limps back inside. Nathan follows, closes and locks behind him. They came for me 3 hours ago. 2 agents from my own field office. Said I was under investigation for unauthorized disclosure of classified information. Tried to arrest me. I fought, ran. She collapses onto the couch. Nathan sees the defensive wounds on her hands, sees the determination in her eyes. Marcus has people everywhere. FBI, DOD, probably CIA. He has been building this network for years, waiting for his chance. Nathan sets the metal case on the coffee table. Opens it, shows her the files. This is what Theodore buried. This is phase 2. This is enough to stop him. Chen flips through documents, reading fast. Her hands start shaking. Not from fear, from rage. This is treason. This is conspiracy to commit murder. This is enough to bring down half of Washington. Can you get it to someone clean? Someone Marcus does not own. Chen thinks, scrolls through her phone and contacts, stops on a name. Deputy Attorney General Margaret Reeves. She is old school, by the book, hates corruption. If I can get this to her, she will act on it. She looks up at Nathan. But I need time. Need to verify the documents. Build a case. At least 24 hours. Nathan checks his watch. 0300. 3 a.m. 45 hours left before Chen's original deadline. But Marcus's confirmation vote is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. 1800 hours. 6 p.m. We do not have 24 hours. We have 15. Then we move now. I will contact Reeves. You need to disappear. Marcus knows you have the evidence. He will come for you. Nathan stands, winces as his shoulder reminds him of the bullet graze. Let him come. I have been running for 43 years. I am done. Chen grabs his arm. Nathan, this is not Beirut. You cannot win this fight alone. I am not alone. I have 47 ghosts watching my back. He walks to the door, pauses. If I do not make it, make sure the story gets told. Make sure those 241 names mean something. Chen nods, no promises, just understanding between two people who know the cost of the fight. Nathan leaves, drives through empty DC streets while the city sleeps. Parks near the Lincoln Memorial, walks to the National Veterans Memorial, where tens of thousands of names shimmer in the pre-dawn light. Names from every war, every conflict, every sacrifice. He stands there, thinking about dead men and the debts they leave behind. Thinking about Theodore Aldridge, who sold 241 lives for money. Thinking about Marcus, who wants to do it again on a larger scale. His phone rings, unknown number. He answers. The voice is not mechanical this time. Is human. Male, older, familiar in a way that makes Nathan's skin crawl. Hello, Corpsman Mercer. My name is Theodore Aldridge. I believe we have unfinished business. Nathan's world tilts. Theodore is dead. Died in a car accident in 2022. There was a funeral, a flag ceremony, a grave. You are dead. I am many things. Dead is not one of them. The voice is calm, cultured, the voice of a man who has never faced consequences for anything. We need to meet. You have something that belongs to me. I have something you want. My son's career, his freedom, perhaps his life. Why would you give up your own son? Because he is worse than I ever was. I sold weapons for money, he sells them for power, for ideology, for a vision of America that would make the founders weep. I created a monster Corpsman. Now I need your help to stop him. Nathan processes this, tries to find the angle. The trap. Where? The Pentagon, tomorrow, 1800 hours. During Marcus's confirmation ceremony. Come alone, bring the files. I will handle the rest. How do I know you are not working with him? You do not. But you are out of options and out of time. Take the gamble or watch Phase 2 go operational, your choice. The line goes dead. Nathan stands in the shadow of Lincoln, looking up at the marble face of a president who saved a nation by making impossible choices. Thinks about trust and betrayal and whether redemption is possible for men like Theodore Aldridge. Thinks about 47 Marines who are alive because Nathan made the hard calls in Beirut. Thinks about 241 who died because someone else made different ones. He pulls out his phone, calls Chen. Theodore Aldridge is alive, and I am going to meet him tomorrow at the Pentagon. Chen's voice is sharp. That is suicide, probably. But it is also the only play we have left. He hangs up, starts walking back to his car. The sun is rising over the Capitol dome, painting the sky in shades of blood and fire. 15 hours until Marcus's confirmation. 15 hours until Phase 2 goes live. 15 hours until Nathan pays a debt that is 43 years overdue. Behind him, the names on the memorial wall catch the light. Tens of thousands of stories of sacrifice and service. Nathan adds 241 more to the count, adds his own, adds all the ghosts who walk beside him now. The war is not over. It is just beginning. And this time, the dead are going to win. 15 hours. Nathan sits in a motel room off Route 95, the kind of place where they take cash and do not ask questions. The metal case lies open on the bed, documents spread like evidence at a crime scene. 43 years of treason, reduced to paper and ink, and the names of men who died to protect a lie. His phone rings, Chen's number. Tell me you got the files to Reeves. Chen's voice is tight with exhaustion. I did. She is reviewing them now, building a case. But Nathan, she needs time, needs to verify sources, establish chain of custody, Coordinate with justice. She is talking weeks, maybe months. Nathan looks at his watch. 14 hours and 32 minutes until Marcus's confirmation vote. We do not have weeks, we have hours. She knows. She is trying to fast-track it. But the system does not move at combat speed. You know that. Nathan does know. Spent 43 years watching the system protect itself. Protect men like Theodore Aldridge. Protect the machinery that grinds up Marines and spits out medals and flag ceremonies and lies carved into marble. Then I am going to the Pentagon. Going to stop this the old way. Chen is quiet for a moment. When she speaks again, her voice has changed. Softer, almost kind. You know this is a one-way trip. You walk into that building, you are not walking out. Marcus will have security, federal agents, Secret Service once he is confirmed. You will be outnumbered 50-1. Nathan thinks about Beirut, about being outnumbered by rubble and fire and time. About saving 47 men when the odds said he should have saved none. I have been outnumbered before, still here. Promise me something. If you are going to do this, make it count. Make sure the story gets told. Make sure those 241 names mean something. Nathan looks at the documents, sees the proof, sees the conspiracy laid bare, sees the chance to finally pay the debt that has followed him for 43 years. I promise. He hangs up, stands, begins to prepare. The process is ritual, meditative, the same steps he took before every mission in Force Recon, back when he was young and believed that preparation could cheat death. He cleans the M1911, loads 8 rounds, 1 for each year he spent in the Marines before Beirut. Before everything changed, he sorts the documents, selects the most damning, the ones that prove Theodore took bribes, the ones that show Marcus planning Phase 2, the ones with names and dates and dollar amounts that no lawyer can spin away. He writes a letter, not to Chen, not to the Marines he saved, to the 241 who died. An apology. An accounting, a promise that their deaths will finally mean something. He seals the letter in an envelope, addresses it to the Beirut Memorial, stamps it, will mail it on the way to the Pentagon so that even if he does not survive, the words will. At noon, his phone buzzes, text from an unknown number. Parking garage, level C, spot 241, come alone, TA. Theodore Aldridge, using the number of the dead as a meeting location. Either the cruelest coincidence in history or a message. Nathan suspects the latter. He drives into D.C. Traffic is heavy, the usual gridlock of a weekday afternoon in the capital. Tourists and lobbyists and bureaucrats all moving through their lives unaware that a war is being fought in the shadows. The Pentagon parking garage is a concrete labyrinth, layers of cars and exhaust and fluorescent lights that never quite reach the corners. Nathan takes the ramp down to level C, finds spot 241. A black sedan sits there, engine running, tinted windows. Nathan parks 3 spots away, keeps the engine on, keeps his hand near the pistol. The sedan's rear door opens. A man steps out. Theodore Aldridge is 78 years old, but moves like someone younger, straight-backed, confident, silver hair perfectly styled. Expensive suit that probably cost more than Nathan makes in a year. He looks like a senator. Looks like power. Looks like a man who has never paid for his sins. Corpsman Mercer, thank you for coming. Nathan does not move, does not speak, just watches, calculates, looks for the trap. Theodore seems to understand, holds his hands away from his body, shows he is unarmed. I know what you are thinking. This is an ambush. I am working with Marcus. I am here to kill you. But if I wanted you dead, you would already be dead. I have had people following you since you left Wyoming. Could have ended you a dozen times. Nathan's hand does not move from the pistol. Why did you not? Because I need you alive, need you to stop my son. And because you deserve to know the truth. The real truth. Not the sanitized version in those files. Theodore gestures to a concrete pillar, leans against it like an old man resting his bones. 1983. I was not supposed to be in Beirut, was supposed to be running Operation Scorpion from a desk in Langley. But there was a problem. The operation was succeeding too well. We were moving so many weapons, making so much money that people started asking questions. Inspector General, congressional oversight, journalists. So the CIA decided to clean house, bury the evidence. And the best way to bury evidence is to bury witnesses. Nathan's blood runs cold. You are saying the CIA ordered the bombing. Theodore shakes his head. Not ordered, allowed. We knew Hezbollah was planning an attack, had intel 3 weeks in advance. Could have evacuated, could have hardened the barracks, could have saved every single Marine. Instead, someone decided to let it happen. Use it as cover. Blame Hezbollah. Shut down Scorpion publicly while continuing it privately, and make sure anyone who might talk was eliminated in the blast. Nathan takes a step forward, fury rising like bile. 241 men. You let them die to protect an illegal arms operation. Theodore meets his eyes. No shame, no regret, just cold calculation. I did not make that call, but I executed it. Walked out of those barracks 15 minutes before the truck bomb arrived, carried out the Operation Scorpion files, buried them at Arlington where no one would look. And yes, I took $5 million for my silence. So why tell me now? Why pretend to help? Because Marcus found the files, found out what I did, and instead of being horrified, he was inspired, saw it as proof that the system works. That power protects power, that you can kill hundreds of Americans if the cause is profitable enough. Theodore's voice drops. For the first time, Nathan hears something that might be genuine emotion. I am a traitor and a coward. I know what I am. But my son is worse. He wants to restart Scorpion on a global scale. Wants to sell weapons to every conflict zone on Earth. Create chaos. Profit from suffering. All under the cover of his position as Secretary of Defense. And you want me to stop him? I want you to expose him, use the files, go public, destroy his career before he can be confirmed. I will corroborate everything. Will testify, will accept whatever punishment comes. Why? Why turn on your own son? Because he is planning to kill me anyway. Found out I was talking to you, decided I am a liability, has a team waiting to eliminate me as soon as he is confirmed. So I have nothing to lose. And maybe, just maybe, if I help bring him down, those 241 Marines can rest easier. Nathan wants to believe him, wants to believe that redemption is possible even for men who have done unforgivable things. But trust is currency he spent 43 years ago. How do I know you are not lying? That this is not Marcus's play? Theodore reaches into his jacket. Nathan's hand moves to his pistol, but Theodore pulls out a phone, shows Nathan a video. It is Marcus, in his Senate office, talking to someone off camera. The voice is clear, unmistakable. My father is a weakness, a liability. Once I am confirmed, I want him gone. Make it look like natural causes. Heart attack, stroke, something clean. The video ends. Theodore puts the phone away. He sent that to his head of security 2 days ago. I have people too, loyal to me, not him. They are the ones who have been protecting you. The sniper at Arlington Cemetery. The helicopter that did not kill you at the gravesite. That was my team, keeping you alive long enough to matter. Nathan processes this. The pieces falling into place. The third player, Scorpion. Not an enemy. An ally. Or at least an enemy of his enemy. What do you want from me? I want you to do what you do best. Survive impossible situations. Walk into that confirmation ceremony. Expose Marcus publicly. I will back your play. We'll confirm everything. And when it is over, you and I both face justice. But at least we face it having stopped Phase 2. Nathan looks at this old man, this traitor, this murderer of 241 Marines. Looks at him and sees a monster, but also sees a father who created something worse than himself and is trying too late to stop it. All right, we do this together. But if you are lying, if this is a setup, I will kill you myself before they take me down. Theodore nods. No fear, just acceptance. Fair enough. The Pentagon is a fortress. 5 sides, 29 acres, 17.5 miles of corridors. Built to withstand attack from foreign enemies. Not designed to stop an old man with a debt to pay. Nathan enters through the public entrance, carries nothing but the documents in a manila envelope and the letter in his pocket. No weapons, no wire, no backup. Just him and Theodore and a plan that has more holes than Swiss cheese. Security is tight. Metal detectors, X-ray machines, guards with eyes trained to spot threats. Nathan moves through it all like a ghost, an old veteran visiting for a ceremony. They wave him through. Theodore enters separately, uses his credentials from his time as a Marine officer. Still has friends in the building, still has access. Corruption has privileges. They meet in a hallway outside the conference room where the confirmation ceremony is scheduled. 1800 hours, 6 p.m., 30 minutes from now. Nathan can hear preparations, chairs being set up, microphones tested, the machinery of government preparing to anoint another powerful man. Theodore hands Nathan a badge. Visitor credentials, enough to get him into the room. The plan is simple. During the ceremony, after Marcus takes the oath, there is a reception. Press, senators, military brass. I will get you to a microphone. You expose him. I confirm. We both go down, but we take him with us. And if security stops us before we get that far, then we die trying. But at least we die for something. Nathan pins the badge to his shirt. Thinks about Beirut, about dying for something that mattered, about 241 men who never got a choice. Let us finish this. The conference room is arranged like a theater. Rows of seats facing a stage, American flags flanking a podium, senators and generals and bureaucrats filling the space with their power and certainty. Nathan takes a seat in the back row. Anonymous, invisible, the way he has lived for 43 years. Theodore sits 3 rows ahead, close enough to act, far enough to not draw connection. At exactly 1800 hours, Marcus Aldridge enters, flanked by aides and Secret Service, smiling, confident, the look of a man who believes he has won. The ceremony begins. Speeches, platitudes, senators praising Marcus's service, his vision, his commitment to national defense. No one mentions his father. No one mentions Beirut. The past is buried, the way powerful men prefer. The oath is administered. Marcus places his hand on a Bible and swears to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The irony is thick enough to choke on. Applause, cameras flash. Marcus is now the Secretary of Defense, has the keys to the kingdom, has the power to restart Operation Scorpion. Phase 2 is active. The reception begins. People stand, mingle. Champagne appears. Marcus works the room, shaking hands, accepting congratulations. Nathan stands, moves toward the front. Theodore intercepts him, guides him toward a microphone set up for toasts. Wait for my signal. Nathan waits. Watches Marcus accept praise from men who have no idea what they are celebrating. Theodore steps to the microphone, taps it. The room quiets. Everyone turns to listen. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the interruption. My name is Theodore Aldridge. I am the father of your new Secretary of Defense, and I have a confession to make. The room goes silent. Marcus's face drains of color. In 1983, I was part of a CIA black operation called Scorpion. We sold weapons to terrorist organizations in Lebanon. We funded our operations with blood money, and when the operation was exposed, I helped arrange the bombing of the Marine barracks in Beirut to eliminate witnesses. 241 United States Marines died because of my actions. Gasps, shocked whispers, cameras swinging to focus on Theodore. Security moves towards him, but he keeps talking, voice rising. I buried the evidence at Arlington National Cemetery. My son found it. And instead of turning me in, he decided to restart the operation, to use his position as Secretary of Defense to sell weapons on a global scale, to profit from chaos and war, to betray everything this country stands for. Marcus is shouting now, trying to stop him, but Theodore will not stop. I have proof, documents, financial records, everything. And the man who uncovered it all is here with me. The man who saved 47 Marines in Beirut while I left them to die. Nathan Mercer. The Raven. Nathan steps forward. Every eye in the room turns to him. An old man in a cheap suit, scarred and limping and carrying the weight of 43 years. He pulls the documents from the envelope, holds them up. Operation Scorpion. Phase 2. Your Secretary of Defense is planning to commit treason, and I have the proof. Security descends on them. Federal agents, Secret Service, Pentagon police. Nathan does not resist. Just holds the documents high, making sure the cameras catch them, making sure the story gets out. Marcus is screaming, denying, calling it lies and conspiracy and the ravings of bitter old men. But the cameras keep rolling, the reporters keep filming, and the truth, once released, cannot be buried again. Nathan is on the ground now, hands behind his back, zip ties cutting into his wrists. Beside him, Theodore, also restrained. The old traitor looks at Nathan, smiles. Semper Fi, Corpsman. Nathan does not smile back, but he nods, once, An acknowledgement, not forgiveness, never forgiveness, but recognition that some debts, however late, can still be paid. The holding cell is cold and concrete, the kind of place where they put people while deciding what to charge them with. Nathan sits on a metal bench, hands still bound, shoulder throbbing from being thrown to the ground. Hours pass. No interrogation, no charges, just silence and fluorescent lights and the weight of what he has done. Finally, the door opens. Lisa Chen walks in, looking exhausted but triumphant. Deputy Attorney General Reeves moved fast, issued warrants within the hour. Marcus Aldridge is under arrest, charged with conspiracy, treason, attempted murder. His assets are frozen. His security clearance revoked. Phase 2 is dead. She sits beside him. A guard cuts Nathan's zip ties. Theodore? In protective custody. Turned state's evidence. Will testify against everyone involved. Judges, senators, CIA directors. This goes all the way to the top. Reeves is talking about the biggest corruption prosecution in American history. Nathan rubs his wrists, feels the circulation return. And me? Chen hands him a document. Official letterhead. Department of Justice. Immunity. Full cooperation agreement. Reeves knows you are the only reason any of this came to light. Knows you are a hero, not a criminal. You walk, no charges, clean. Nathan reads the document. Cannot quite believe it. After 43 years of running, of hiding, of living like a ghost, he is free. There is one condition. Nathan looks up. You testify. Tell your story, the whole story. Beirut, the rescue. What you heard on that radio, everything. The country needs to hear it from you. Nathan thinks about speaking publicly, about cameras and questions and reliving the worst day of his life in front of millions. When? Next week. Congressional hearing. They want to understand how this happened, how it was covered up for so long. Your testimony could change everything. What about the others? Cole, Jack, Tommy, Frank, the men who helped me at Arlington. Also immune. Reeves wants them to testify too, wants the full story. From the men who lived it. Nathan stands, walks to the small window, looks out at the Pentagon courtyard where Marines drill in perfect formation, unaware that their world just changed. I will do it. I will testify, but I want something in return. Name it. A memorial. A real one, for the 241. With their names and their stories and the truth about why they died. No more lies, no more cover-ups, just the truth. Chen nods. I will make sure it happens. The hearing is held in the Senate Russell Building, broadcast live on every news network. The room is packed. Senators, press, families of Beirut victims, the nation watching. Nathan sits at a table, a microphone in front of him, water glass untouched. He is wearing his old dress blues, the uniform he has not touched in 43 years. The medals feel heavy, unearned. The chairman gavels the hearing to order, asks Nathan to state his name for the record. Hospital Corpsman, Second Class Nathan Mercer, United States Navy, retired. Corpsman Mercer, can you tell us what happened on October 23, 1983? Nathan takes a breath, closes his eyes, opens them, and tells the truth. He tells them about the explosion, the fire, the screaming. He tells them about spending 73 hours in hell, pulling men from rubble, triaging wounds, making impossible choices about who to save and who to leave behind. He tells them about the radio intercept, Theodore's voice, package delivered, the 15-minute warning that could have saved everyone. He tells them about the 47 men he saved and the 241 he could not. He tells them about the guilt, the nightmares, the 43 years spent running from ghosts. And he tells them about the debt owed to every Marine who died because powerful men decided their lives were worth less than secrets. When he finishes, the room is silent. No questions, no cross-examination, just the weight of truth settling over everyone present. The chairman speaks, voice thick with emotion. Corpsman Mercer, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. And thank you for making sure the truth finally came to light. Nathan nods, cannot speak, does not trust his voice. The hearing continues. Cole testifies, then Jack, then Tommy, then Frank, each one adding their piece of the story. Each one honoring the dead by refusing to let them be forgotten. Theodore testifies last, admits everything, names names, provides evidence, burns down the network he helped build. The prosecutors sit in the front row, taking notes, building cases that will send dozens of people to prison. When it is over, when the last question is asked and the last answer given, Nathan walks out of the building into sunshine. Press swarms him. Cameras flash, questions shouted. He says nothing, just keeps walking. Out of the building, down the steps, into the street. Cole and Jack and Tommy and Frank are waiting at the bottom. Stand in a line, salute. Nathan returns the salute, feels tears on his face for the first time in 43 years. 6 months later, the Beirut Memorial has been rebuilt, moved from its quiet corner to a place of prominence. The wall of names now includes context, includes the truth, includes the story of Operation Scorpion and the conspiracy that killed 241 Marines. Nathan stands before it, reads every name, places a hand on the marble. Behind him, a voice. Thank you. He turns. A woman in her 50s, holding flowers. Tears on her face. My father is on that wall, Lance Corporal James Morrison. I was 3 years old when he died. Never knew him, just had stories. And for 43 years, I thought he died in a terrorist attack. Thought his death meant something. She steps forward, looks at the names. Now I know the truth. Know he was murdered. No powerful men let him die. And I am angry. So angry. But I am also grateful. Grateful that someone finally told the truth. Grateful that his death will not be in vain. Because of you, because of what you did, this will never happen again. Nathan wants to tell her that her father was brave, that he fought, that Nathan tried to save him, but the rubble was too heavy and the time was too short. Wants to tell her all the things he has carried for 43 years. Instead, he just says, he deserved better. They all did. She nods, places the flowers at the base of the memorial, walks away. Nathan stands there as the sun sets, watches other people come, other families, other sons and daughters and spouses who lost someone in Beirut and finally have the truth. His phone buzzes, text from Chen, final count. Marcus Aldridge, sentenced to life without parole. Theodore Aldridge, sentenced to 25 years. 47 other defendants convicted. Phase 2 dismantled. Justice served. Nathan types back, thank you. He puts the phone away, looks at the names one last time. I kept my promise. You all mean something now. You all mattered. He walks away from the memorial, does not look back. The debt is paid. The story is told. The ghosts can rest. For the first time in 43 years, so can he. 5 years later, Nathan Mercer, 72 years old, stands in front of a classroom at Marine Corps Base Quantico. 40 young corpsmen sit in rows, notebooks open, faces eager. He is here to teach them, to pass on what he learned in 73 hours of hell, how to triage under fire, how to make impossible choices, how to live with the weight of who you save and who you do not. But first, he tells them about Beirut, tells them the whole truth. The conspiracy, the cover-up, the price of silence. Tells them that being a corpsman is not just about medical skills. It is about integrity, about refusing to let the powerful bury the truth along with the dead. Tells them that 43 years ago, he saved 47 men, and that every single day since, those men have saved him right back. Gave him purpose, gave him a reason to keep fighting, gave him the strength to finally do what was right. At the end of the lecture, a young corpsman raises his hand. Sir, what would you say to those 47 men if you could talk to them now? Nathan thinks about Cole and Jack and Tommy and Frank, about Wyatt, now married with kids of his own, about all the lives that continued because he refused to quit. I would say thank you. Thank you for giving me a reason to survive. Thank you for carrying the weight with me. Thank you for proving that the debt we owe each other is the only debt that truly matters. Class dismissed. The students file out. Nathan packs his notes, prepares to leave. On the way out, he passes a memorial plaque. Names of corpsmen killed in action. The Navy's version of the wall. He stops, reads the names, adds a silent prayer, then walks out into the Virginia sunshine, where Cole is waiting in the parking lot, leaning against his truck, still limping after all these years. Buy you a beer, Doc? Nathan smiles, real and genuine and free. Yeah, Gunny, you can buy me a beer. They drive to a bar outside the base, a place where Marines and corpsmen gather to tell stories and lie about their glory days, and remember the men who are not there to tell stories anymore. Nathan and Cole sit at a table in the corner. Order 2 beers. Do not talk about Beirut. Do not talk about conspiracies or trials or justice served. Talk about normal things. Grandkids and fishing and how the Nationals are doing this season. Live like men who have finally paid their debts. Around them, the bar fills with laughter and brotherhood and the sound of people who understand what it means to serve. And somewhere in Arlington, 241 names catch the setting sun, carved deep into marble, finally at rest. The war is over. The debt is paid. The Raven can finally sleep.